What is up, guys? Today I'm going to help you solve the repeat a string algorithm challenge from Freecodecamp. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it. All right, so let's read this description that we have here. It says that it wants us to repeat a given string, first argument num, times second argument, and then it wants us to return an empty string if num is not a positive number. So just by reading that, I can tell that we're going to have to use an if statement, or a conditional rather. And we can actually break this down into two manageable steps. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to check to see if our number is a positive number. So if num is greater than 0, then it's going to be a positive number. It's not going to be negative. And what do we want to do if it is a positive number? Well, we want to return our string, and we want to repeat it by that number that we're given as an argument. And we can do that by using a very handy built-in JavaScript method, which is named repeat, and it does exactly what it's named. It repeats our string. So let's go ahead and type that out. So repeat, and we're going to pass in an argument into this method. You can pass in a number, but in this case, we want to repeat it by the argument that we pass in into our function, which is simply num. So right here, we're pretty much 50% done with the solution. And if anything else, then we want to return an empty string. Okay, so down here, we're going to invoke the function, which is named repeat string num times. And let's actually change this. Let's do FCC. So we're going to pass FCC as our string for our first argument. And then let's pass in a negative number just to make sure that it's working. So let's run this and see what it says. Awesome, so it worked. Cool. So this is great, but we can definitely save some lines of code here. And we can do that by using what's called a ternary operator. And I'm going to show you how to do that. But essentially what a ternary operator is just a shorthand for an if statement. So what we want to do is we want to return, and we want to see if num is greater than 0, just like we did before. If it is, then we're just going to use the repeat method on our string, pass in num. Sorry, there we go. There we go. Yeah, pass in num, and then we're gonna pass in, or return rather. Can't type today for some reason. We're gonna return this empty string. All right, so I know this is a bit confusing when you're first looking at it. So let's go ahead and just break it down into small steps. So what's happening here? Well, we're comparing num to 0. So think of this as the if portion of an if statement, just without the if here. So num, if num is greater than 0, think of this question mark as the than. So question mark, which is than, run this right here. str.repeat by num. Else, so think of this colon here as else, then just return this empty string. So let's run this and see if it works. Awesome, which it does. So I personally love ternary operators. They're very quick to type out, saves you time, it saves you memory space. So if you're not using them, you should definitely start using them. But that's it, guys. If you liked the video, go ahead and leave me a like, subscribe, and definitely leave a comment if you have any questions and if this was helpful. Thanks, guys.